The neo-soul hip-hop duo Oshun, named after the Yoruba goddess of sweet waters, is composed of Maryland natives Niambi and Tandi, and possesses a sonic and visual aesthetic rooted deeply in Afrofuturism. Hot off the release of their first studio album, Bittersweet Volume 1 in April, the two young artists met through the Martin Luther King Scholarship Orientation at NYU in 2013. With an eclectic style that splices digital with acoustic and heavy drums with watery ambiance, Oshun is here for the culture. This is Millennials in Music with your host, Zeppelin Tillman. We are here today with Oshun. Thank you all so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Can you all just introduce yourselves and, give us the brief origin story? How did it all start?
Yeah, I'm Tandi.
I'm Niambi.
Okay.
We're Oshun.
And about 3 million years ago in the land of sweetness, it's like, nah. Yeah, we're both from Maryland. We met at NYU.
Okay.
We became besties in 10 minutes. And then we were like, yo, let's save the world right quick.
Like, all right, bet. You want to make a record?
Facts.
So then we did it.
That's just how it happened.
Boom.
It just happened. It was actually really organic and very quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard you all said you met in the Scholars Program.
We did.
Yes,
Okay.
we did.
How long after meeting in Scholars did it take for you all to get into the lab and start cooking up?
Music, we were still creating even immediately.
Okay.
We did a talent show that day that we met together.
Together?
Yeah, together.
What was that like?
It was cool. I was playing a beat on the stage with my hands. My knuckles was red as fuck.
Yeah.
And she was singing.
Yeah, I sang, and then she freestyled. She was like, "Yo, I'm Tandi, and I'm the best." And it was like, "Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It was hilarious.
But even before we got in the lab, we were we were singing really loudly on the street in front of our dorm, and that was how we were creating. But then we were like, "Yo, we could make some dollars off this."
It was after though. Tandi and Prodar, producer and DJ, they made a song. I was away for some weekend, and they just made this fire track. And I came back and I was like, first of all, when did you start writing?
Right.
When did you start singing? When did you start rapping? Where did this song come from? This is fire. You want to what's good with the remix?
Word. And
You
then
hopped
I
on
was
it?
like, remix.
It's actually not even out yet. That's
Volume 2.
Volume 2.
It's
Okay.
on volume 2. But she was like, remix. And I was like, remix? Shawty, why don't you just be my soulmate? It's like, no, we just decided to create together. I don't even think it was that we made a remix of the song.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We just, that was one of the songs that we would sing on the train, though. We would sing it just harmonized. And I think when we actually sat down and were like, all right, let's write together, because we had things that we were going back and forth a lot more between DC and New York then. So on that megabus ride, just beats in our headphones, and would come back, with ideas to trade off and on. But I think first time we really just sat down and wrote something together, put our stuff together, was when we were getting ready for the first project,
right?
Afaye. It was a 4-track EP, and we were just we're gonna record this. And
that process was crazy too.
Yeah. It was over maybe 2 weeks,
maybe a week.
I mean, for the later songs, but I know we did Fallback in Diplomatic earlier. But it was really quick, and that was all during winter break.
And did you all automatically kind of know the direction sonically where you were kind of go, or did it take time to define what your sound would be?
I think the direction was that there was no direction. I mean, obviously there's influence.
Absolutely.
Influence in all music of our people, soul, R&B, jazz, hip hop. But I think, and also with Proda being a part of the creation process, we've just always been let's make something dope.
Yeah. And we just knew that we wanted everything to be fluid. We wanted everything to have a certain bounce, a certain rhythm to it, where you could have fun to it. But I don't think any of our stuff really sounds the same. Even now, back then, it was just very much
they're doing this.
Yeah, being in the moment and just letting it flow, creating dope stuff.
So we fast forward now to the project that just dropped, Bittersweet.
Yes, Volume 1.
Volume 1. Are we gonna have? Is this gonna be like a blueprint series? Or are we getting a 2 and a 3?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The story behind that is that Bittersweet just became too long, and
Okay.
the next album was just gonna be Bittersweet, and we were just like, we've been gone for 3 years, not gone, but we've been performing and putting videos out here and there, but really focusing on graduating and finishing school. It may be too much if we come out with 20-30 songs, like that. We're not Chris Brown yet, like give it some time.
70 songs on a project.
Yeah. So we were just like, let's break it up, let's spoon feed them.
You all have been out for a year at this point now, right? Graduated for
Yes.
a year. How do you all view the world differently not being in school versus when you were in? How's your mindset kind of outlook now?
I think for me, I'm still shifting. I haven't fully arrived, but I think there's just a certain level of independence that like it's just required of you, and like the whole world has, that you just don't really realize until like you're just in that shit, and like just the culture around even being at NYU and being in the small, program that I was in, and the small scholars program, it was always community, it was always like people that wanted you to do good. There was always people that wanted to check in with you on these benchmarks and make sure how your grades looking, like how your loans looking, like did you finish this, did you do this, and there's so much support around just like getting you through that part of your life. And I think now we're in a space where it's just like, you're on your own.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah. And it's not even like on no shady, it's not shady. It's just like life. Like everyone has a life that they're living, that they're focused on. And it's just like, you really just have to like be on top of your own shit all the time.
I think for me, the thing that I'm transitioning out of and trying to understand in this transition is like schedules. And that's just been something that we've really been trying to work through since the day that we graduated. Like, I'm still on my Google Calendar say that this time is this time is this time is that. But when, every single day, all right, I have this class that my grade depends on me being there at a certain time. And I know that, okay, after I do that, I know it'll be easier for me to do my homework then and then grab some food here. That type of structure in your life creates just like a certain vibe, a certain energy. But when you wake up and you're like, fuck, I gotta do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. But also, I gotta go to the bathroom right quick. And all right, now I'm gonna go see what's good with my roommate. Yo, how you doing? All right, cool. Oh, snap, it's 3:00. You know what I mean? Like, time just goes by so much faster, I feel like, out of school.
Absolutely. When it comes to the music, what's that structure like in regards to how you all are creating and that whole process? What's it like for you all?
More recently, we've been in a space because we have been traveling so much where it's a lot of independent work. It's a lot of, like on the plane or on the train or in the car to yourself with your headphones, writing. We're in this space. We're kind of like incubating on a personal tip.
Okay.
But
like apart from each other.
Yeah, apart from each other. And we'll come back to each other and be like, oh, listen to this that I did. Look at this, look at this, and build on it. But then it'll be like, all right, but now I know, where to go. I'll catch you in a little bit. But I think because Bittersweet is a series and there's, a lot more to come, even with the things that have been on Volume 1, a lot of these things did come from times where we were just incubated together and writing like literally the songs together top to bottom, or songs that were a part of class, like for me that were actually part of like my my studies.
So you have like songs that the world is hearing that you were getting a grade on.
I mean, almost all of Bittersweet was like every week a different song off Bittersweet was like your homework.
I had to write a new song every week. And not only write a new song every week, but also come with the song from last week with edits and revision progress.
Absolutely. What was the favorite one? What song was your favorite to
my favorite song from that class, I think it's a record. This is a trick question because like I want to say something on Volume 2, but I know I should be plugging Volume 1 right now. I'll say one from both. From Volume 1, Volume 1, I think Parts was another favorite, because like that was a song that like that we didn't integrate all of the feedback, you know, like there was a lot of stuff that we did, you know, take into consideration, but also just a level of like that song really wasn't totally understood, and in some spaces it was very much a vibe, but when you try to like intellectualize the song and be like, oh, but there's two different BPMs, and there's two different keys or whatever, and there's two different, what's the hook? Like, it's like you don't know the answer to those questions. It kind of makes you wonder. But like when you don't put yourself in that space and you just kind of allow yourself to experience the song, it's really a ride. And like that was a lot of the feedback that we got from that song.
Okay.
So that was cool. Volume 1, that was good. Volume 2, You Can't, is this song that everybody will hear very soon. And it's just fire. It's really shows our dynamic, as how dynamic we are as artists, as songwriters. We're still new to a lot of people, so it's like, are you a singer? Are you a rapper? Like, are you R&B? Are you soul? You know, people are still digesting and still trying to figure it out. And Volume 2 is just gonna confuse them even more.
That's a fact. Yeah.
How autobiographical is the music? I mean, is it kind of like you're experiencing something and then it's right to the pen and pad? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it varies. I think there's a lot of songs that are literally our life, not even on Bittersweet Volume 1, but just all of our songs. A lot of them are real life experiences. Others, though, I can't front. I'll just be making something up and be like,
okay.
But I think Thandiwe just doesn't give herself enough credit for that, because she's just really good at like channeling. You know, it's not even that you're making it something up; it's that she places herself into the setting or the character it is that has already started to be created in that song. You know, so it's like if this song is about some ain't shit dude and how he hurt my feelings, like I may be in great standing with my man right now, but like I feel you, sis. Like, and she's really good at placing herself in that.
Right.
Thank you.
I noticed that self-love was a huge topic on the latest project. What's your journeys respectively been like, you know, for you with kind of coming into your own and embracing that?
I mean, I think it's a journey for everybody, right? To love yourself. I definitely can say there was a point in my life where, you know, I wasn't like, I'm the shit. I feel like I'm at that place now, you know.
Y'all are really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think for me, it was the moment that I had to consciously ask myself, okay, all these voices in my head telling me what I am, which voices are mine? And then I had to really listen and be like, that kind of sound like me, but nah. You're not me. And there was a point in my life where there were a lot of voices telling me, okay, you should be this, you should be that. And when you're on the journey to being your best self, you do want to listen. You want to take people's opinions to heart because they mean something. You know, you are a reflection of the experiences you have. But just having like infinite trust in myself, like support for myself, and being like, yo, even if I am annoying to somebody, like that's me. Like I'm still the best annoying person in the world, and I love me. Wow. You know, that journey.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
What's that?
I think it's an everyday thing, you know, like it's like you just have to remind yourself constantly. Definitely a lot of moments like that, just being like, okay, trust yourself, you popping, you lit. But I think at the same time, I don't know, I feel very I don't know, it's a hard question. What's the question again? Make sure I'm not going off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about this idea. So the reason why it's interesting to me is because you're so young, right? So the fact that you're so self-aware and that self-love is something that you've embraced and found a way to intellectualize in your music at that is like, I think it's really impactful. So I was just wondering what that process for you all has been like to even discover that that's something that valuable.
I think it's funny because we're in a space now where like we're able to talk about it. We're able to be like, you know, be acknowledged for it or, you know, respected for it. But it wasn't necessarily always this way. And we're at a place now where, I mean, we can just, what we do is like, you know, living proof that we're on the path. You know what I'm saying? But like when you're a junior or senior in high school or a freshman in college, and you trying to explain to your parents why, you know, like you don't need to have a backup plan, or you know what I'm saying, that you stand up all night writing music or going to the studio or things like that are important, or having no sleep because you got to do all these music videos, or you know, like it, you have to explain it a lot. I think we had to explain it a lot early on, and I think there definitely could have been moments where we were like, had to question, you know, like I'm explaining this so much to everyone else, everybody else can't see what it is that I see.
Right.
Am I doing this right? Like, am I doing what I'm supposed to do right now? And then I think that's where what you said comes in, and you know, really affirm yourself. And just, I think it also helps that we have each other, honestly, because
for sure
we're able to, like, even if one of us does get into a mood, it's just like, bruh, like, we're here, we're doing this, look at how much we've accomplished, like, we're changing lives. And I think the fact that we have that impact on people at this point, it definitely helps with just reminding us of who we are, why we are where we are. But it's a journey, I guess, is the point that I'm trying to make. It's not like we haven't arrived. It's still a process.
I mean, at 29 and 30, I'm sure you'll be looking at this and saying, oh, I know so much more then. And then at 40 and 50, right? So it always changes. What's it like for your peer group and your friends, and even with dating? I mean, it seems like the wavelength that you all are on isn't something that other, you know, 21, 22-year-olds are on. So does that make it difficult to exist?
It does.
Not only because y'all aren't just from this planet, but like,
that's
you know, but you know, I mean, is it difficult to kind of really exist within this? Yeah,
I think it is. Like I said, it helps that we have each other, because, you know, we clicked instantly, because, you know, just something as simple as university, going to a university where you're like, what, 10% of the population, if that.
We were like 3%.
3%. Okay, I was trying to be modest. You know, so it's like it that could have very easily been a difficult, you know, situation, but we had each other. And even in that, like, we were involved in stuff on campus, but like, it's also a wavelength. It's not just about like, oh, we have similar shared experiences. It's like, do we want the same thing for the world? Do we want the same thing for ourselves? And it does make having, you know, a large friend groups difficult, or dating difficult, because it's like we're so mission oriented, you know, and like we live every day with purpose and with intention, and like the people that we have around us is very serious to us, that like, not that they're like, you know, Jesus, and that they need to, like, you don't do this and you don't do that and you're just so high in body, like, but that the people that we're surrounding ourselves with are committed to themselves, committed to being their greatest selves each and every day. And you don't always, people, there's a lot of pressure sometimes. Like, I gotta, to be around you, I gotta love myself. What you mean? But it's good too, because it brings amazing people around us, you know.
We reflect a lot of power. Exactly.
Yeah.
You attract a lot of powerful people. I will say though that through the challenges that you spoke on, I think the good thing about us being so radical and so mission oriented is that everybody that we ever encounter will always be inspired. And that's not to say that, like, you know, everybody will follow our mission, but it's just to say, like, because we're so authentically radical in who we are, even those people who are like, I'm not really with that, they'll be able to be like, yo, Oshun, they about that. They're saying something that's real that I can look into, and maybe that can guide me to my own journey towards
what is the mission? What is, I know you all are changing the world, but what is, like, have you all put it as, I use the college a thesis? Do you have it? What is the mission?
The mission is just to manifest a sweeter tomorrow for us all, you know, and to empower people to know that they have the ability to do that. You know, we want people to not look at us or look at these figures. It's like, oh my God, like them. Like, we want people to look at themselves like that.
Yeah. Is there a process? I mean, if somebody was coming to you and they're like, I see that you all are on the path to doing it and getting better, how do I even start? I mean, how do you all begin to?
Well, I mean, everything in terms of starting on a journey, spiritual, mental, you know, esoteric, whatever, it first has to come from you dealing with yourself and asking yourself, what is my truth? Where is my truth? And if I can't find it, or if I can't figure it out, am I at least committed to myself enough to find it? Absolutely. You know, that commitment to yourself is the first step. I would say too, commitment to earth. Regardless of your creed, your religion, where you come from, we're all descendants and creations of this planet that we live on. We all have a responsibility to keep it alive, keep ourselves alive. I think in that, and observing the flow of water, observing what wind feels like, just being in tune with the earth, that process in and of itself will guide you to so many other more mysteries and truths on your journey.
Yeah.
And I think in that journey to self, like, because even that can be like what is my truth, like I don't know, like where do I even start with that? I think that a lot of it can come from asking yourself, just even more complex questions than that, like how do I want to feel every day? Like what emotions do I want to experience? Like what impact do I want to have? How do I want people to feel when they're around me? How do I want people to feel at my workplace or at the grocery store? Or like, just like these questions that really require you to pay attention to how you feel, and like allowing to tap into that so that can be what guides you. Because
that seems super tough though in the social media era, where like because you have to almost disconnect in order to do that, right? And really be with yourself, but then be comfortable with what you find. At the same time.
Well, I think that's why people like us are here. Like we're actively trying to neo this whole shit and like be on social media and be like, hey, love yourself, disconnect for a little bit. There are leaders, there are people who exist for that purpose, but you have to disconnect. Unless you want to turn into a robot.
All right, so we have one more section. We call it 8 and 45. So I'm going to give you all, we'll do 90 seconds just because it's 2 of you.
Okay.
All right, so you have to get through 8 questions.
Oh my god.
90 seconds, really easy, this or that type stuff.
All right, like each or
you got to go each. You got so it's like one word answer though. First thing that comes to your head.
Okay. But we both answer it.
Yeah, not at the same time.
Okay.
So like you go,
Okay.
All right. Instagram or Snapchat?
Instagram.
All right. Do the right thing or she's got to have it.
Do the right
thing.
Favorite city?
DC.
Oh, it's so hard. Favorite city.
You got 9 seconds.
Oh my
seconds right together. You got to give me an answer.
Let's say DC.
Okay. All right. Favorite song this year?
God's Plan. Oh, fuck. I should have said something on Blessings on Blessings.
Okay.
My World featuring Georgia Smith.
How did that come together real quick? We're going to break this. How did that record come together?
Georgia did a show in Brooklyn. Her management emailed us. They were like, we love you. We would love you to support at this Brooklyn show. We were like, okay. We did it. She was phenomenally amazing and very sweet. She was like, you want to go bowling? We were like, yeah, we want to go bowling. We went bowling. And then she was like, yo, what's good with the stew? We was like, come through.
And she came through.
Just like that.
Yeah, it was us and Proda, and we just started with nothing, ended with the banker.
Wow. All right, picking it back up. We got 45 seconds.
Okay.
All right, red or pink?
Pink.
Red.
All right, Baduism or the miseducation?
Miseducation.
Yeah, okay, fuck. I know, but it's still I still gotta give miseducation.
All right, one word to describe the other?
Boss.
Goon.
All right, and favorite book?
Beloved by Toni Morrison.
The Host by Stephanie Meyer.
Word. Thank you all so much for sitting with me today.
Yes. Thank you.
I really appreciate you all. Can you just tell people where they can find you, what's going on, and all that good stuff?
We are Oshun, and you can find us at oshuniverse.com. Let's tap into our world. You can follow us at Oshun on all of that. And
all of that.
Stay beautiful.
We'll never change up before and after all the fame. Let's talk about it, baby. Don't doubt. Might be gone for a while, but I think about